Welcome to Sports Talking Sports. I'm your host, L. Steven Swartz. Howdy, everybody. This is not the rodeo. It is still the same show. It's freezing cold here in Leland, North Carolina. Joni and I had to skate our way into the studio. Tony's got it toasty right now. We're going to have a great show tonight. I'm a happy guy. My Ohio State Buckeyes did it to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Made me happy. I don't have to wear any Notre Dame attire. So we're going to have a great show. We got our special guest back for part 2, Bob Harris. But before we bring on Bob, let's bring on my 2 co-hosts. Number 1, my man from Jacksonville, former national championship quarterback with the A&M Rattlers and the voice of the Rattlers football and basketball broadcast with Melvin Beal, my man from Jacksonville. Number 2 in your program, number 1 in your hearts, Al the Rattler Chester.
My man, I tell you what, you're my brother from another mother, man. I tell you what, the city was shut down all day today because of the cold weather, but we're here tonight ready for a fired up show, man. Let's do it.
Hey, Ben, come on, Al. Do you like that build up? Come on, man. Come on. You got to love Absolutely. It, don't you?
I do, man. I tell you what, it warms my heart.
I like it. We need to be warm today. All right, let's bring on tonight's second co-host. Yeah, he's from New York, but now he's North Carolina's own. And we call him the Book. Benny the Book Stamilli. Notre Dame. I'm sorry, Benny. I know the tears are running down the eyes.
I was just thinking about it. I kind of jinxed him. I went to bed when he missed the 27-yard field goal. If I would have stayed up, they might have pulled that game out.
Well, you know something?
Well, Benny, I'm glad you think that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, Al. It didn't look like that. It didn't look like that at all during the game.
No, guys, and we'll get into it too. You know, we'll get into the field goal and was that the right decision or whatever. But to help us out with breaking down the Notre Dame Ohio State National Championship game won by the Buckeyes, and after the first break, we're going to go to the AFC and NFC Championship games. Let's bring on former All-SEC, All-American defensive back with the Auburn Tigers, 5 years in the NFL, my friend, my man, a friend of the show, Mr. Bob Harris.
How you doing, Les? Giddy up. Let's go.
Let's get this thing, baby.
Bullet Bob, let's
gotta
do
get
it.
on my horse, baby. Let's get this thing rolling, right? All right. So anyway, guys, it's over. Finally, long college football season. Congratulations to the Ohio State University Buckeyes, 34-23 victors over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Sorry about that, Benny. I know it. Sorry about that, buddy. Guys, a game that looked like it was going to be a complete blowout. I think a lot of people pretty much turned their TVs off in the third quarter as Ohio State was rolling. Let's go to UL real quick. The quarterback play. We knew it was going to be crucial. On paper, it looked like Will Howard had one tremendous game and made one amazing throw. Your keys to Ohio State's victory in jumping out to that quick lead.
Well, we talked about it last week. Ohio State, very potent offense. Notre Dame, if they could control the line of scrimmage, run the football, eat up a lot of clock, they could keep themselves in the game. And if they're in the game late in the fourth quarter, they had an opportunity to win. But they were able to do that first quarter. They ate up about 9 minutes, 18 plays. Perfect. I mean, you couldn't ask for it any better. But we talked about how potent Ohio State's offense is. They got the great receivers outside. And we talked about who could throw the best last week as well. We said the kid at Notre Dame was an adequate passer, but we thought that the guy at Ohio State was a much better passer. And he showed that. I tell you what, he led that team. He was dynamic with his leadership. They had a balanced attack. They ran the football well. They kept Notre Dame's defense off balance. And we talked about all three phases of the game. I think they checked all the boxes and executed well.
Yep, they definitely deserved it.
That's why my man in the middle is the analyst when it comes to throwing the football and the offense. Now, Bob, I'm going to go to Bob, and then Benny, I'm going to do a follow-up question with you, because I think this game, even though it's a 60-minute game and it's played in all three phases, we always talk about it, there were really two plays that are going to be talked about most in this game. The first one is the third down and 11 inside the Ohio State 30. It's a one-possession game, Bob. Al Golden, we know he likes to go man with Notre Dame. That's his MO. That's what he does. But in that situation, Bob Harris is the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame. All you need to do is get a possession. You get the momentum. You might go down and tie this thing up with a 2-point conversion. How do you play defense right there if you're Al Golden on that play?
Yeah, it's hard to second guess him because he had such a tremendous year. Notre Dame offense going into the game, they led the nation in turnovers. So that aggressive man style that they like to play, it served them well. And it was their downfall on that particular play. I think if you could go back and do it again, it's based on the down and distance. It's 3rd and 11. You just got to get off the field there, get the ball back. And I think you're better served, keeping especially explosive playmakers like Ohio State has at receiver, bottled up in some type of matchup zone coverage there, and try to get pressure with your front four.
I agree, and that actually was the game clincher. Ohio State had the ball, I think, at the 12. They ran a couple plays, ran some time off the clock, and then kicked the field goal. Benny, talking about field goals, I know you were high on that field goal kicker for Notre Dame. He made some big kicks, especially in the Penn State game. Won it.
They talked about him before the game. Yeah.
That decision, though, at that point of the game, I understand it. I totally get it. I'm not going to second guess Marcus Freeman because I think he's an awesome young coach. I think he's a great coach. You're Marcus Freeman in that situation. What do you do as the Notre Dame coach?
Well, I would have went for it, but I understand why he did. They were gaining momentum. He wanted to get some points out. I mean, the time 9:27. You can't think you're going to get the ball back 2 more times. Yeah. So he still was down 2 touchdowns. So it was really the 3 points was irrelevant because they still needed to they were going to still be down 2 scores. So he just took he took what he thought. He kind of got outcoached. He got in the game. He kind of thought a little bit too much.
Well, Al, if they don't go for it in that position, say they go for it, right? They don't go for the field goal, they go for it, and he gets stuffed. Because it was 3rd and 9, I believe. It wasn't like a 3rd and 1. It was 3rd and 9. But
I didn't like the third down play.
Right,
you're at the 9-yard line. You throw the ball to like the 6 or 7-yard line, and the guy gets crushed over the middle.
I get it, but I'm asking from a player's perspective. Al, you got the momentum. You're taking points off. You believe in your offense, but Ohio State stuffs you right there, okay? Maybe he gets sacked. Maybe they gain 2 yards. Does that derail the comeback attempt by Notre Dame? Do you think Ohio State at that time gets the momentum back because they make a big stop. I mean, is that probably why Marcus Freeman elected to take the points right there?
Well, I tell you what, in a great contest like this, your reaction is quick. You make quick decisions, and I tell you what, had they made the field goal, would we have this conversation? One, two, if he didn't kick the field goal and went for the first down and out a touchdown and got the touchdown, would that have changed the momentum of the game? And I think you can kind of pick your poison on that. I think if you score a touchdown, obviously that's going to get you a lot closer than a field goal. But the spontaneous thought process of their head coach was, let's get some points. Let's not make this drive a dead end type drive. Mm-hmm. And it blew up in his face. I mean, so Ohio State had to feel good stopping them not getting the field goal or missing the field goal, and that put them in the catbird seat, man, to continue to play and finish up the game strong.
By the way, we've got viewers out there right now. Hopefully you're in an area where you're not freezing to death. Hit us up. Get some comments out there. We got Joni here. She's ready to read them off. We'll hold the program up for your comments, questions, things like that. We'll talk about it. Let's get this show interactive tonight. I'm pumped about this. Guys, let's just throw to Bob. One big play in this game that happened, and Ohio State's rolling. They're up, I think, 31-13. Their second receiver, I think I'm going to mispronounce his name, Igwebuike, I think his name is.
Igwebuike, yeah.
Whatever it was. Yeah. He catches a ball 40 yards. He's breaking. He fumbles the ball inside the Notre Dame, 25-yard line. That gives Notre Dame the thing. If he doesn't fumble that ball, listen, we don't know what's going to happen, Bob, but it looks like Ohio State's marching in there to make it a 38-13 game. Game, set, and match at that point. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think that was, that was going to probably be the dagger that sealed the deal for Ohio State in what it did from a momentum standpoint. It gave Notre Dame life that hey, we can get back in this game. And so, that was a big play, and they did end up getting back in the game. They made it a one-score game, and Ohio State found a way to close them out. But that was a big play, and again, that was kind of what got Notre Dame, to that game was their defense found a way to keep them in games throughout the season and create opportunities for that offense. This particular time it wasn't a shortened field, but it got them the ball and it got them momentum. And I think it gave them, some hope when maybe they had very little at that particular point in time.
Benny, speaking of the Notre Dame defense, word just out now. Defensive coordinator Al Golden's going to leave South Bend. He's going to take the vacant position with the Cincinnati Bengals, who God knows they need a defense. Yeah. How much does that hurt Notre Dame? That's part one of my question. Number two is, how long do you think it's going to take the NFL to grab Marcus Freeman? Do you think he'll be here for the long term at Notre Dame?
Probably a couple of years less.
Okay.
Yeah, if they have another really good year next year, they'll probably try to pick them the following year after that. It depends on, how many openings there are. Usually 6 or 7 in a year. A lot this year, so maybe not so many next year. Their defense is what really got them where they were. Yeah. That's a big loss. They really played well all year. They made the plays when they had to. Ohio State was just they were just a juggernaut. They deserved. They were the best team in college football. As far I watched all the games, and they beat 2 SEC teams. They beat Texas. They beat Notre Dame. They deserved to win it. And what's funny about it? I would say the college, the playoffs was a really good success. They got just some tweaks they got to make about it, but Notre Dame and Ohio State, if they had the regular four-man playoff, they wouldn't even been in it.
True. I mean, no doubt about it. Successful expanding the playoffs to 12 teams.
And let me add something to the play call and the decision to go with the field goal. It made me think about back in the day. When I had an opportunity to check off at the line of scrimmage. And the rule is always, if you check off and the play works, it's good. If you check off and it's a bad play, you get in trouble, you know what I mean? But if ifs and buts were canned in, that's over the party we have, man. But that's what it's all about.
Well, I'm going to go to you first, and then I'm going to go to Bob as a follow-up here. So next year, both Notre Dame and Ohio State, they had transfer senior quarterbacks. They're both gone now. Notre Dame will probably bring in a transfer. I think they got a 4-star kid coming in as well. Steve Angeli's going to be there. Look good in limited time throwing the football. And Ohio State loses Will Howard. Now, they got a kid named Julian Sayin, who was a 5-star kid. He was originally slated to go to, I think it was Alabama.
Yeah.
Then he left, went up to Ohio State. What happens there? Do you think that it continues? Ohio State's offense with Chip Kelly continues with the new quarterback? Do you think they maybe take a step back? And what about Notre Dame? And then I'll go to Bob for the defensive side of the ball. But do you think Notre Dame and Ohio State stay the same? They make the playoffs next year and they still get good quarterback play from the two newcomers who come in at that position?
Well, you know what? You got to have a trigger puller at quarterback. You got to have that quarterback in today's college football to be successful. He's the guy that's going to be the dominant leader. He's got to be the guy who can run. He can control things. Now, Notre Dame, I think, will go after someone, but I think they got a guy who played backup that played very well for them. I think he's earned and deserved an opportunity to be their starter. But I still think because of the way the portal works, they're going to probably reach out and grab someone. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. Ohio State, I think they're loaded, man. The shells are deep in Ohio. I think they're going to have a quarterback who can get it done just as good as the kid here and are better because they know how important that role is. So I don't think Ohio State's going to lose much. And I tell you what, if Notre Dame can keep their defense together, and if they go with the number 2 kid who I saw play quarterback, and I tell you what, I co-sign him over anybody. He knows the system. He's been there. He's waited. He's earned the right to get that opportunity. We'll see what Marcus Freeman does, but I tell you what, if they can go with him, he's an exciting player. To me, he was more exciting than the starter this year. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But they both got to have, all colleges got to have that quarterback, man, and the guy who can get it done for him.
Bob, you got Downs coming back. He would have been a top 15 pick in the league if he came out. You lose Sawyer. You lose the other end, at number 44. They lose both of those guys, but they still have some talented kids coming back. They always have a top 5 or 6 class. And when it comes to transfers, do you think Ohio State's defense just continues to be dominant again next year?
Yeah, I do. Just based on their, the way they've recruited it, over the past several years, and they've done a really nice job of filling immediate needs via the portal, and I look for them to continue to do that because they've had immediate success. They both on really both sides of the ball. They got arguably the best defensive player out of the SEC last year, and Junkins, the running back as well from Ole Miss. So they're not afraid to go cherry pick, so to speak, to supplement their immediate needs. But I think their roster's deep. And that was, evident throughout the year. So, on the Notre Dame side, I think, same type of thing. The more they win, I think, Marcus Freeman players they're going to want to come play for him. Mm-hmm. And I think he'll be able to do some of that same thing, even though historically they haven't done a, ton of NIL, go cherry picking like Ohio State is. But I look for them to fill their immediate needs as well via the portal.
I was just going to say, we have no comments even about the outfit, really. No one's going to give me any gruff for wearing a cowboy hat and trying to be Rip from Yellowstone or something. We do have one.
We do, yes.
All right, so Joni is up with some comments. All right, Joni, let's throw them out there.
Okay, can you hear me? Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hey, Joni.
Hi. Okay. So there was a comment about the hat. Actually, a couple of comments about the hat and something about a joke regarding a Jewish cowboy, but we won't talk about that.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, I got big shoulders,
I thought you
man.
were John Travolta from
Urban Cowboy.
The Urban Cowboy.
There
Yeah. Now that I look at you,
Yes.
John Travolta.
Yes. That is indeed.
That's what I'm going for, Benny. John
Gonna
Travolta
do
and
some
Urban Cowboy.
dancing for us?
No, I'm not doing any dancing.
Two-stepping.
So as far as the game is concerned,
Yes.
there were some. Let me move up just a little bit. Let's see. Barry Smith says never leave points on the field.
Okay, he's for the field goal. Okay.
Yeah. James Muthig, he says going for 3 is better than coming away empty. It didn't work out anyway.
Again, okay, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Doink off the field, off the goalpost. Yeah.
You know what I'd like to say about that also?
Good.
College football changed the rules this year. It's not like the when you made a first down. I mean, the clock runs until 5 minutes.
Right.
So the games were shorter. You know,
Right.
you couldn't lengthen them like you used to lengthen them.
True.
You know.
True.
So
Well,
nine minutes
that's
and
another excuse for
27
Notre Dame
9 minutes
losing,
and
Benny. We'll take
27
it.
seconds to go. You need 2 scores, and you kick a field goal. You still needed 2 scores. So, right there, I would say should have went for the touchdown.
See this right here?
Really would
National
have boosted. It really would have boosted. You know, I understand. Hey, he's getting paid $9 million a year. I'm sitting here with less on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Where else would you rather be on a Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time than to be on a show with L. Steven Schwartz? I don't think anywhere in the world. Listen, hey, before we go to another comment real quick, I know we got a great video. Our man, Mr. Big Ten, Todd Trigger, who's been a frequent guest on the show, was able to be at the game. God knows what he spent on tickets for that thing. I think it was like $700. Oops, don't tell his wife. But he got some great video up in the nosebleed seats, got the guys coming in. I think he caught the first touchdown by Mr. Judkins, busting over 5 or 6 Notre Dame players. So if Tony can maybe run that. Hold on.
We've seen enough.
Hold on. This is I want Benny, Al, and Bob in unison. You guys ready? O-H.
Oh.
That's right,
I-O.
baby.
I-O.
O-H-I-O. Benny, you know what I'm doing? I'm putting this on your doorstep tonight. It's gonna be haunting you forever. The Ohio State Buckeyes helmet. There we go. All right, Joni, we got some more comments?
Yes.
All
Mike
right.
Miller, he says, Notre Dame didn't blitz enough and while playing man, didn't have a spy to keep OSU quarterback from scrambling.
Oh, that's a great point, Mike. Very astute. Mike, a Notre Dame fan. Very astute. Did not have a spy on Will Howard. Bob, let me ask you this. You got a guy that's going to take off and run, right? And you know he's kind of a dual threat guy. Listen, he's not going to be, mistaken for Lamar Jackson, or Jaden Daniels. We'll talk about those guys later on. But the guy did gain over 50 yards rushing, in this game, and I think he ran for over 400 in the regular season. Do you think it would have been advantageous for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to put a spy on this kid?
They had a spy on him one time, and the guy ran the wrong way.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah, I think situationally you do, depending on, down and distance, because he does have a tendency to scramble. He's a pretty good runner.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that's your entire game plan. But I think if that's a concern, then, yeah, you definitely do that. But then you give up either an additional rusher or, somebody in coverage. But, yeah, I think situation you want to definitely do that.
Well, you're going to tell me that Rob, John, Gary, anybody, they're not giving me guff about this?
They were the ones who talked about the joke.
Oh, you can't tell the joke? Is it mean?
It's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. Okay, we won't be telling
I do
that
not
joke.
approve.
That means it's appropriate if
That means-
Joni doesn't.
Hey, we're on
Yeah.
cable television. We can say anything. How about another one, Joni?
Okay, so Gary has a really good question or comment. Gary McNeil would love to understand the rule in college football for junior college transfers. Unclear to
JUCOs.
me.
JUCO. So, yeah, actually, what he brings up, it's interesting about, because we always talk portal guys and all this kind of stuff. And I think Diego Pavia challenged the rule at Vanderbilt this year, basically saying that if you play junior college 2 years or even 1 year, and you transfer into an FBS school, you used to lose that JUCO year. You would only have like 3 years or 2 years. Now, basically, the rule is the NCAA has said those 2 years in JUCO don't count anymore. So you basically have 4 years of playing FBS football, even though you played 2 JUCO years. You, in a sense, get 6 years. Bob, is this thing getting ridiculously out of hand?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, 6 years. That just seemed, I think Notre Dame starting linebacker was a 6-year guy.
Yes, he was. I was just going to mention that. Yeah, number 24. 6 years.
And
6 years
you know,
with Notre Dame.
yeah, I think historically, of course, with the COVID, everybody got an extra year. Then there's been some players, in the past get a hardship where they've gotten an extra year just because of the injuries or multiple injuries. But yeah, I mean, it's not counting junior college seems to be a little bit over the line.
Hey, by the way, Pete, I know you're out there. Hold on, Pete, I know you're out there, and I know you're dying to ask a Cam Ward question. Do you want Cam or Shedeur? We'll get to that. But Al, I'm going to ask you this before you jump in real quick. What do you think about Will Howard and him as an NFL quarterback? Do you think that he'll be drafted mid-level, high-level, and do you think he'll be successful, or he'll be like a backup for like 10 or 15 years? What's your take on Will Howard's transition to the NFL?
Well, he's got the size, and I tell you what, he's mobile enough and can make the throws. I think his arm talent is there. I just don't see him as a starter in the league. I see him as a backup, and I think he'll get an opportunity to play in the National Football League. Whether he survives or hangs around will be a different remains to be seen. But I think he has the talent to get the opportunity. He's earned it now, obviously, winning the national championship. And sometimes that doesn't mean anything, but I think he'll get a chance and get a shot having engineered the Ohio State offense.
All right, I like it. All right, Joni, do we have more?
Oh.
Well, the green light's on.
Oh, it is on. I'm sorry. Yes,
That's
we do
okay.
have more. I was just jotting down some notes, so forgive me. So, let's see. I'm sorry.
I was gonna hum the theme to Jeopardy, but go ahead.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. All right. I don't know if we want to jump to the NFL, but
let's hold the NFL because
okay.
I think we're pretty much wrapping up college. I think we've beaten this. We've done our analyst work on this thing.
Yes.
We say congratulations, Ohio State. Benny, listen, I'm joking. I mean, obviously, I said Notre Dame. I meant Notre Dame. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm not an Irish fan, but you know something. How can you not like Marcus Freeman as a person, as a coach? The program's in the right direction. There's no doubt Notre Dame's in a better shape now than they were 4 years ago when Brian Kelly exited to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
So best of luck, Notre Dame. I think next year they'll be in the mix for the playoffs again. Until they're in a conference, Benny. I'll argue this all day long. Until they get their preferential treatment and they get to play their weak-ass schedule. Who are they playing? By the way, they're probably not playing Northern Illinois this year. Are they playing like, I heard they were playing, was it North Brunswick High School in the second game of next year? You got their schedule for next year, by the way?
Yeah, they play Ohio State probably.
Well done. They'll start off with a loss. But listen, guys, we got some big games. We got the NFL coming up. We got the championship games this weekend. There were some great games last week, some insane games. We're going to get to that. So everyone stay tuned. Get your questions. Get your comments ready for the NFL, the playoffs, the conference championships this weekend, plus some big coaching news that just happened. We're going to be doing that with Bob Harris, Al Chester, and Benny the Book. We're doing it in 2 minutes.
It's tax time, and the tax ladies of Shiloh are ready to serve your tax needs. Since 2011, the tax ladies have been voted Best of Brunswick for tax preparation. We are here to help new arrivals to the area, and we are experts in multi-state returns. Every return is reviewed to make sure you get all the credits and deductions you deserve. Open all year, we also provide bookkeeping and payroll services. Trust the experts. Come to the tax ladies.
All right, we're back, the tax ladies, and you know something? Just letting you guys know, they're handling our stuff at Sports Talk and Sports, so we like the tax ladies. Listen, guys, before we jump to the NFL, and I choke to death, let's go to Joni. I think we have some more comments, so I'm going to have Joni ring them up. Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Woo,
go ahead. Just wrote him up. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. so Pete, Kegley?
Pete Kegley, yes, my boy up in Saratoga Springs, New York, where it's about 10 below zero or about now. Yeah, go ahead.
All righty. Any chance Cam Ward is there at 3 for the G-Men?
All right, Benny, this is you. Cam Ward at number 3 to the Giants. Will they do it, and do you think he'll be available at number 3?
No, he's gonna go number 1.
Really? You think he's the number 1 player off the board?
And if he's not there, I hope they don't take Shedeur, the Giants. I just hope they don't take him.
All right. So, Pete, so who are the Giants going to take at 3?
I don't know. They might trade because I heard a lot of different things already about trades. Like the Raiders want to trade. The Raiders want
Shedeur. They need a quarterback.
They really want him.
Right.
So and Cleveland's not going to take a quarterback.
Why not? So Watson's not going to be there. He's tore his
They're not going to take
Achilles
a quarterback.
again.
They're going to just go with anybody until they're burdened by this guy. That was the worst contract ever in I think pro sports.
Benny, any truth to the rumor that they're going to actually draft a long snapper in the first round?
Yeah. Giants, they might do anything. I don't know.
We got Bob laughing at this one. All right. Real quick. So, Al, let me get your take on Cam Ward. You loved him all year. He slung it around at Washington State. Before that, Incarnate Word. What do you think about Cam Ward? And if he goes number one, you think he'll be a successful quarterback in the league?
I do. I tell you what, Cam is super talent. He's got the big arm. He can make all the throws. He's poised in the pocket, man, and he can pull it down and run it as well. Now, we don't need him to go be Lamar Jackson, but I think you're going to see a lot of Cam similar to the kid in Washington. I mean, I think Cam is that kind of player.
Right.
But I think he would have immediate success. Obviously, he's got to be surrounded by the right talent, be in the right type system, and obviously you got to have people up front to block because it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. If you don't have anybody pushing folks around up front, it doesn't matter. But I like Cam, and I suspect that he's going to be a lights-out quarterback in the National Football League.
Guys, poll results in. Will Patrick Mahomes outplay Josh Allen? I'm going blind, but 89% to 10% say yes, he will. So, Benny, there goes your prognostication pick as Buffalo beating Kansas City. It's not going to happen.
I'm telling you right now. I've gambled on a lot of games.
And you've lost a lot of games too.
Yeah, but two-time champ playing at home to get to the Super Bowl to repeat at two points. Come on.
All right, we'll get to that game. That
means on a neutral field, Buffalo would be the favorite.
All right. Listen, before we get to that game, I know we got some comments. I want to get to the championship game, the first game. That's Sunday at 3 p.m., Lincoln Financial Field. You've got the Eagles, who have been playing lights out in the NFC all year long. Great defense. Best running back in the league right now. We'll talk about the quarterback play, Al, against an incredibly exciting, young, dynamic Washington Commanders. I know we like to call them the Redskins. Hey, listen, we got our Commander fans out there in D.C. land, right? In Maryland land. We got, Sam and Alex. I know they're out there listening, and they should be. They're big Washington fans here. Guys, let's break this game down real quick, and then we'll go to a couple of comments here. Al, the quarterback play in this. You've got a guy that's just energizing everybody in Washington, playing like a 10-year veteran. The guy's as cool as a cucumber. It doesn't look like anything phases this kid. They're throwing the kitchen sink at him, and he just glides back there, and he's just dropping balls all over the place. And then you got Jalen Hurts on the other side that, coming off that concussion a couple weeks ago, ran the ball great last week, but not throwing the ball particularly well for a lot of yards. The quarterback matchup, I know they don't play the whole game, but if you're looking quarterbacks right now, who do you like and why in that matchup?
I tell you what, Jaden's on fire. Both of those guys are fire quarterbacks. But reverting back to something we commented on earlier, Jaden was one of those guys who was able to take advantage of hopping around in different schools. He's a mature kid. He's not a 20-year-old kid. I think he might be 25, maybe 26 years old. Yeah. But he's a mature kid. But anyway, nevertheless, I don't want to take anything away from him. I like the way he plays. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, he's lights out. This is that great contest we always talking about. And it's a new season. And you've had success. They've got that thing figured out. They know how to win. And that's what's so good about it. And the guys believe in him. You see it. I mean, the chemistry, the camaraderie that he has now. Jalen, with the Eagles, I mean, he does the same thing. Now, he has the best running back in the league right now.
Yes.
And that takes some of the pressure off of him. Now, Washington has two running backs who can get it as well now, so don't shortchange those guys. Yeah. And then they play lights out defense as well. So you're gonna have a great contest here. The weather could have a factor, but I tell you what, you got two elite quarterbacks playing. You don't want me to tell you who I think is going to win, do you?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. But I tell you what, you're going to have great quarterback play. Jalen, quarterback at Philadelphia, he's ailing a little bit. He hurt that knee a little bit last week, so I'm not quite sure.
They don't know if he's 100%. He might not be able to run.
He's going to play, though. He's going to find a way to play.
He's going to play, of course.
Oh, he's a baller. There's no doubt about it.
That's going to limit him, and I think
Redskins lost their all-pro lineman, though.
Well, the Redskins haven't been around since Billy Kilmer and Joe Theismann. It's the Commanders. We got to get this right.
Jaden, he threw 5 touchdowns last time they played against Philadelphia.
He did.
Yeah.
So they know they can move the ball against them, but Philadelphia is not a blitzing team, and
they don't need to blitz.
Jaden has eaten up teams that have blitzed him. That's how he's so calm and cool. He knows right where to go. He's always got the answer. So, their defensive line is very good, Philadelphia. So I'm hoping he gets the protection, and if he gets the protection, they'll move the ball. They're going to move the ball.
I was going to go to Bob because I am going to go to Bob and talk about Jalen Carter, an SEC guy at Georgia, and how we basically blew up, last week that Rams final drive on his own. But real quick, let's go to a couple comments here on the NFL, Joni.
Yes, they're not quite fitting in with this conversation, though.
All right, well, throw one out there.
Yeah,
okay. Unless they're talking about the Edmonton Oilers and with their,
okay. Well, actually, Tech for Fun has an interesting question. Right. How do you think technology and new camera angles and high resolution has changed the game?
I think it's much more, to me, guys. I'll throw it out to you guys. More fan friendly, and you feel like you're in the game now. Different shots, the replays, and all that kind of stuff. You can see before they make the. If there's a bad call. Or you know before they come out with it. Now he's inbounds. His foot touched. It tapped. Right. I mean, what do you guys think?
They're changing all the time because now the upstairs kid, if they see something was absolutely wrong, they buzz down and say that was not. They don't even have to review that. They make the call from upstairs if it's blatant. The referees they're less hesitant to make calls, because they know they're always going to be checked. I mean, they got how many eyes? God only knows how many cameras they have and all the different angles from every different,
Well, the second guess on every
a lot of games this year have been determined by that camera. The first game of the year, the Ravens against Kansas City, his foot was on the line by like less than a quarter of an inch. They called it a touchdown. They saw that his just was hitting the white line. Yeah. Changes a lot of games.
Well, fan experience. The fan experience is important. It's almost like that candy bar that's sitting at the cash register when you're walking out of the grocery store. The fan experience is the mandate by the National Football League. So they're going to have these camera angles and get the fans involved, and that just intrigues everybody and keeps everybody pumped up. But it's a good thing. I think you don't hurt anything by doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, things like the pylon cam, and some of those things as a fan, it's really enhanced the viewing experience. And I'll tell you too, from a player performance, you see them on the sidelines with those tablets now. Al, you can reflect back. When I played years ago, you didn't watch film until the following day, and then back even in the 90s, you could see Peyton Manning. He would have, and even Brady early on. They had like photographs of the defense, like that they had printed out, and now you got the tablets where it's live, just previous plays. So the adjustments you can make in game is really advanced with the technology for playing and coaching.
Bob, let me go to this game. So we'll finish up with the Philadelphia game. Jalen Carter was just outstanding. I mean, there was a lot of baggage that came with him out of Georgia, when he got drafted number 1 in the first round by the Eagles. But, he single-handedly just stuffed the Rams on the last drive. He made the sack, and then he forced the throw, which we'll get into. I'm going to get into that with Al after that throw that didn't give Puka any chance to even get to the ball. But your take on Jalen Carter and the Eagles defense, can they – you're not going to shut this kid down, but can they contain Jaden Daniels' ability to get in the pocket? He's not standing back there like a statue. He's able to glide in the pocket and go outside the pocket and make plays. Can they shut that down?
Let me start with Jalen Carter. I'm gonna use an old nickname from late '70s, early '80s. The Manster. Randy White was half man, half monster.
Yes,
and that's Jalen Carter. He's a special talent. His athleticism for someone his size with that strength. The Rams made the mistake of trying to single block him with a rookie center, and they paid dearly for that on a couple occasions. Yeah. But yeah, he's a tremendous talent, and when he's focused, he's a handful, and if you're going to have to double team him, which frees up some other really good defensive linemen they have in the pass rush. So he's got to be a focal point when it comes to pass protection.
Well, Quinyon Mitchell, I guess, is got dinged up. I don't know if he's going to play, but he's not going to be at full strength. Not that everyone is this, now. And he's going to be the guy that's really going to be assigned to McLaurin, who's undoubtedly the number one option for Jaden Daniels. I mean, that's going to probably, that's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to cover that guy one-on-one when you're not 100%.
The last 2 weeks, number two was their main receiver. The last 2 weeks.
But McLaurin's their guy. I mean, he's
I know, but Brown has been lighting it up the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, McLaurin caught that one quick pass and then busted between the two defensive backs and ran for the touchdown. But Brown has really been lighting it up the last 2 weeks.
Benny, before I go when you pick, because the Eagles are favored by 6. Before I go to your pick, Al, question on the last drive. Stafford was moving them down the field. Snow in, windy. I understand, I guess, no, I don't understand this. You've got Puka Nacua, who 50-50 balls is pretty amazing, and he made a great catch on that last drive, some incredible catch. Yeah. Why throw the ball where nobody has a chance? It doesn't make sense. It's fourth down. You might as well just throw it up for grabs and give your guy a chance. What is your take on that, Al? Did he make a bad mistake by not at least giving Nacua a chance to fight for the ball? It went out of bounds and the game's over.
I think his arm got hit less.
I don't think
it did. Absolutely. You always want to give your guys, and you always, as a quarterback, you feel like your guy is better than their guy because those 50-50 balls in the National Football League can go a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's 70-30 your way, but fourth down like that, you gotta put yourself in a situation where you at least have an opportunity. And if his arm was hit, but the pass rush itself forced him to throw the ball probably the way he didn't really want to. But and that's what helps the secondary as well. I mean, you have those great defensive backs, but people don't think about you got that pass rush, man. You put that pass rush on that quarterback and throw things off just a little bit, and it takes care of that passing game.
All right, Benny, I'm going to you, Book. Okay, the Eagles are favored by 6 at home. We all know what the Philly fans are like. I mean, my goodness gracious, they threw snowballs at Santa Claus back in the day, probably with batteries in them or something. But who do you like to take it to the Super Bowl? Who do you like?
I'm gonna go with the Redskins.
Well, the Redskins aren't playing in this game, Benny.
Yeah, they are. All right, the Commodores.
Is George Lionel Richie's not playing quarterback?
The Commanders.
The Commanders. Okay, I'm going to go with the Commanders.
All right, we're going with
I think it's going to be a close. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the kid can pull it out. I don't know how Jalen is. If he's not 100% and can't run, that takes the Washington the Redskin defense will be
Redskins. You love the Redskins.
I love the Redskins. I'm an old time
I am too, but the Colts moved to Indianapolis and there's no more Houston Oilers. I mean, come on.
If Jalen doesn't have the ability to run, they'll be able to put more men in the box to stop the running back.
All right, so you like Washington and the points.
Yes, I like Washington.
All right, Al, I'm putting you on the spot. Eagles favored by 6. Did they get to the Super Bowl?
I like the Commanders as well.
Oh my God!
I think that you put the pressure on Philadelphia. I think if the Commanders can get out and make Philadelphia chase them in terms of points, I don't think they can get them. And I think that Commanders are playing well enough that they played twice already. Washington lost the first one and they won the second one in a shootout.
Right.
It's going to be a good football game, but I think that the young gun, they're playing at another level. suspect with the quarterback in Philadelphia. I just think that the young gun, if they can make Philadelphia chase them in terms of points, they can beat them to the finish line.
All right, Bob, we need some common sense here in this show. Okay, first of all, you got Saquon Barkley. Look what Jahmyr Gibbs did to that Washington defense last week. Okay, I think he averaged close to 8 yards a carry. I would have just given it to Kid every time. They couldn't stop him. And Washington's guard went down in the second quarter. Their starter, he's out, which he's an interior guy who's got to block guys like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an exciting matchup. I think the Eagles went into Washington just a few weeks ago with a 10-game winning streak. Now, they didn't have Jalen Hurts. He was out. And we don't know how healthy he is. Yeah. I mean, he definitely got injured in that game last week, so he's not going to be 100%. So, and Jaden Daniels, he's just so, he's so fun to watch, and has been so explosive. Threw 4 or 5 touchdowns against that, arguably the best defense in the NFL with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I just, the home team in these games usually finds a way to win, but something tells me the Redskins / Commanders eke it out.
First rookie to quarterback in the Super Bowl.
We might see history.
Okay, so we've got all three of you guys going with the Redskins / Commanders / Commodores. Okay, interesting. All right, well, we got some comments out here. Hopefully does anybody have common sense out there? By the way, guys, if I turn this hat sideways, I look like Corporal Agarn from F Troop. Just let you know. Go ahead, John. Hey, we're going to throw a little F Troop thing out there. Yeah. Those guys know who it is. Gary, come on, you're laughing.
I'm familiar with F Troop.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
I just wanted to read some of the comments.
Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, I just wanted to read some of the comments here. Matthew Dunn says Jalen Hurts hurt his knee last week and was not the same quarterback in the second half.
Okay. Fair.
James Muthig, Barkley should have had the rushing record.
That's true.
Yes. He also says Hurts is a horse. He'll be there.
He will play, and I think he's going to play well.
He'll definitely
play. He's going to play.
Yeah.
We got any more?
Yeah. So Mike Miller, who, mind you, lives in the Washington, D.C. area,
yes,
says Fangio won't lose to the Skins again. So he says Skins too.
Well, something. Maybe it's time we just change. This is a message to Josh Harris, the new owner of the Washington Football Club. Guys, let's just bring it back to the Redskins. The original guy, the guy that was his family, they wanted to go back to the Redskins. The Indian Nation wants it to go back to the Redskins. Let's just go back to the Redskins. That's just our take on it. All right, listen. I know we probably have some more things going on, some more questions and comments, but let's get to the second game. We've got Arrowhead Stadium, the Kansas City Chiefs looking to three-peat, to be the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Super Bowls, quarterbacked by Patrick Mahomes against the Buffalo Bills, who have been to the Super Bowl many times, come up empty. Josh Allen, huge game last week. Didn't put up a lot of great stats, believe it or not, but did not turn the ball over. That's the one thing, guys, I want to get into. Look at every one of these games. The teams that lost all turned the ball over. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, I love Detroit, and I was rooting for them because of Patrick Malarkey, and I spoke with Patrick last week. But you can't turn the ball over 5 times.
To 0.
I mean, to no turnovers and win the game. And I mean, it's just, so... one of the trivia questions, No, one of our questions out there, poll questions, Al, was, will Josh Allen outplay Patrick Mahomes? Now, Mahomes has not been lights out this year. He didn't make the Pro Bowl. He's not putting up prolific numbers. They're winning with defense, believe it or not. I think their defense has been lights out. Al, why is Patrick Mahomes going to outshine Josh Allen in this game to get to a 3rd straight Super Bowl? Tell me why he's going to outplay Josh Allen.
Great players aren't great all the time. They're great when they need to be.
Ooh, I like that.
Patrick Mahomes is that guy. Last week I thought that the Texans would get them, but that guy finds a way to win, man. I mean, I don't care who he's playing against. He's got that Mahomes magic. There's something special about the guy, especially this time of the year, around the playoff time. He's hungry. He may not have the best receivers, and Kelsey can't run but 20 yards, but they find a way to win. And he's that great player. He doesn't play great all the time. He just plays great when he needs to.
Bob, again, I'm going to make you a defensive coordinator. I think someone in the league is going to call you. How in the world does Travis Kelce get so effing wide open? I mean, the guy, it's not like he runs a 4-3, okay? This guy is not, he's not Tony Gonzalez either. He's not Keller Winslow. How does he get so wide open? And if you're a defensive coordinator, you do what Bill Belichick always said is, we're going to take away your best option. We'll bracket the guy, and you beat us with Xavier Worthy or you beat us with somebody else. Why does someone not take that plan, and how does he get open all the time?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tremendous talent. He's very experienced, and I think him and Mahomes just have this special chemistry. But I think you watch him run the routes, and I think he has the flexibility or the freedom to run option routes on almost every.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't run a traditional route tree where he goes in and curls up. If the linebacker's covering him or the defensive back, safety, whoever it may be, if they have inside leverage, he turns out. And Mahomes, and that's where Mahomes puts the ball, and vice versa. If the guy's got outside leverage, he runs away from him, or he pivots and finds a way. So it's almost like he's posting up under the goal in playing basketball. He's going to position his body between the defender and the quarterback, and it's just throw and catch at that point. And then he has an uncanny ability to break tackles, because he's not going to outrun anybody, but he's just hard to get down once he gets out there. But I think a lot of it's just that option route running aspect that Andy Reid's built into their offense, and Mahomes' ability to find him in those open areas.
Guys, Benny, before we go to you, because I know the line's down to 2 now, and we'll get your take on why, Kansas City favored by 2 and why it would be an even game, if it was a neutral site game. My question is this: you look at Stroud, who played a pretty good game last week, but the guy was sacked 8 times. Josh Allen stayed away for the most part this season from turning the ball over. But Kansas City puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, especially up front with Chris Jones, who's probably, now that Aaron Donald's gone, he might be the most prolific defensive, interior defensive lineman in the league now. I think that's the key, Bob. I just want to get your take on it. Is Kansas City's defensive line against Buffalo's offensive line, and I think Kansas City's got a huge advantage, especially with the crowd noise and being able to get off the ball quick. How do you see that matchup, the Kansas City defensive line versus Buffalo's O-line?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be one of the few matchups that really determines this game. Buffalo's going to go in there with a lot of confidence. They're one of the 2 teams that defeated Kansas City this year. So, it was in Buffalo, but they won that game. So, and they played well in Kansas City previously. So they're going to go in there with a lot of confidence. But I think to what Al mentioned earlier, in these games, turnovers are going to be the difference. If Kansas City's defense can find a way to turn them over, or vice versa, the team with the most that can create the most turnovers is probably going to win the game here. But Kansas City's defense has been very opportunistic, and really, like you mentioned earlier, they're really the reason Kansas City's in this position. Is Kansas City's won multiple games by 1 score. They're not winning 40 to 15. These are tight games. And this will probably be a very tight game. May come down to the kicking game. I'm looking forward to it. It should be. I don't look for a shootout between Mahomes and Josh Allen, but I do look for a well played game with defense playing a big role, really, for both sides.
All right, folks, we have 46 minutes in, so if you have comments or questions, now's the time. We'll open it up for about 2 minutes. Let's get your take on it. Who do you think is going to win this game? You think Mahomes is going to break out this week? Does Taylor Rapp going down a safety? I'm not sure if he's going to play, but him going down, does that help, Xavier Worthy and his speed? Does he take it over the top? Does Hollywood Brown catch a ball this week and not drop any balls? So let's throw that out there real quick. So, Benny, let's go to you. Kansas City, favored by 2. Who do you like and why?
I like Buffalo. I think this is Josh Allen's year. There are two main reasons that I like it. First of all, the line is 2, so they think that Buffalo's a better team because home field gets you 3 points either way. So they're saying Buffalo is a better team with the line too, or who they think is going to win.
Okay.
And there's another really important reason. There's someone that I know that has a bet on Kansas City to win the Super Bowl, and he doesn't ever win. So
Who
I know
may
they're
you
not
be
getting to
talking
the
about?
Super Bowl. I just know there's this one guy that every time he tells me I'm betting on this game, he loses.
Who are we talking about here?
I don't know. You know. I think you know him too.
Okay, all right.
But
He could be
no,
talking
seriously,
about me.
I think Bob's absolutely right. It's if Allen makes turnovers, Buffalo's not winning the game.
Right.
So
who do you like?
If I like Buffalo.
You like Buffalo in the points, and you like Buffalo to win this thing outright.
Yeah, I like Buffalo to go to
All right,
Super Bowl
all
and
right.
play the Washington
Play the
Commanders.
Washington Commanders, Redskins. Okay,
The Washington Commanders.
Al, again, we need some common sense into this argument here. You got Kansas City going for 3-peat. Patrick Mahomes gets it. By the way, poll results in Patrick Mahomes. 70% people think he gets favorable calls by the refs. We know he's going to get some calls in this game because they got to show Taylor Swift, and now Caitlin Clark is now a super fan. So we have to get every single teenage girl under the age, or any woman under the age of 21 watching football and loving the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So Al, tell me why Kansas City is going to win this game.
They're going to win the football game because they're going to have the better playing quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Patrick is going to be a better quarterback on Sunday than my man in Buffalo. I think that his overall game, if he's healthy, and I think he is, I think that the Mahomes magic is just going to be overwhelming. And the guys just got it. I mean, Andy Reid, Bob said it last week. Andy had 2 weeks to prepare for that game last week. Well, I'm just still saying the guys, when they get this close to the finish line, they find ways to win. And like I said earlier, great players don't play great all the time. They just play great when they need to. And I think this is going to be one of those games. He's going to need to play great. I think it's going to be a good football game, but I think Mahomes is going to pull it out for Kansas City.
All right, Bob, you played 1 year, I believe, in Kansas City. They're favored by 2. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, Vinny makes me nervous because I think he's right. I think Vegas wants you to take the Chiefs. But no, I do. I think Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes. There's just something about him when it comes to, especially the playoff time. You don't bet against. Al said it, Mahomes magic. He just finds a way to make a play. We saw it a few years ago. They got the ball with 17 seconds to go, and literally drove the length of the field. So. I don't, he's just a tremendous player, and if the game's on the line, he'll make a play. And I just think you go with Kansas City. Their defense is played extremely well. I think it will be a competitive game, but yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs at home. Crowd, Mahomes, Andy Reid, all those things too much for the Bills to overcome.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think Kansas City wins the game, and I don't think it's close. Then again, I did pick the Ravens to win 34-17 at Buffalo, so what do I know, right?
Hey, Bob, Al. The Cowboy has the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. So
yeah, well,
let me just tell you that
6-1. How can you not take Kansas City at 6-1?
Let's hope it's 6-1.
Yeah.
Benny told me
6-1. It's probably 2-1. All right, guys, listen. So real quick before we go, hey, listen, we're under an hour. Oh, we got some comments?
Yes.
Oh, guys, we got some comments in under the bell. Okay, let's go, Joni.
You asked for them. All right.
I asked for them. We got them.
So a lot of the audience seems to like the Bills. Mm-hmm. They want the Bills to win.
Well, I want the Bills to win, but
Danny Swartz says, let's go Bills.
Danny Swartz?
Danny Swartz.
All right. My nephew on for the first time ever. All right. Dan the man. I love it.
Barry Smith says, Allen is hungry.
He's hungry, but he's going to be starving after this game.
Rob says, I'm a Bills fan this week.
Who?
Rob.
All right, Rob. Okay, Rob, what do you think of the outfit, buddy? Huh? I've got my horse outside, just letting you know.
I'm a little nervous that all these people are calling in and saying they like the Bills.
Yeah, no, well, because Benny, they're going to
Randy Harris says Buffalo to the Super Bowl.
Listen, guys, it would be a great story if the Bills won the Super Bowl because they never have. It would have been great against the Lions, but I don't see it. I just see Mahomes winning 3 in a row. Go ahead.
Okay, Pete Kigley. He says Allen has had the fewest negative plays, turnovers, and sacks ever by a quarterback to attempt 450 plus passes in a season.
See, we've got really knowledgeable viewers.
Good
okay?
statistics.
Good stat,
Good-
Pete
good
from
stats.
Saratoga Springs,
Very
New
nice,
York.
very
By the way,
nice.
hey, I got to say, you know something related to me. Okay,
Is he?
It's a cousin of mine. Yeah, he's
Oh,
married my
okay.
cousin.
So he has that. He has that.
He married Lauren. He did one thing really good, and he knows his stuff too. So good job, Pete. It's about time we got you in here. All right.
You know who Patrick reminds me of?
who? Not me.
Al Chester in against UMass. He made all the plays.
You didn't watch that game. I saw that game.
Al, no, let's gave play by play. He told me all the plays. How you ran all over him.
Well,
His
Al-
Minutemen.
Right, man.
His
Al-
Minutemen.
We took what they gave us, and then later on we took what we wanted.
Hey, by the way, guys,
I like it.
quick shout out here because listen, I'm from Massachusetts, and we don't put a lot of we put guys in FBS and Division One, but I got to say, shout out to two players who played great this weekend. Mikey Sanistril, 2 picks, 2 interceptions, undercut Jared Goff on that last drive. He had 2 interceptions out of Michigan, but in Isaiah Likely, the tight end, who, by the way, is really coming on for the Ravens, caught a touchdown pass. Both of them out of Everett High School, Everett, Massachusetts, the Crimson Tide of Everett. So both those guys played on the same team, believe it or not. So shout out to Everett High School. We're there.
Hey, did you see who made the Baseball Hall of Fame today? The three guys.
Ichiro made it, right?
Ichiro, he missed by 1 vote.
Who's the
being
one guy that
unanimous.
didn't vote for that? Who's the one guy
I don't
that
know.
didn't vote for that?
It must have been somebody that fought in the World War II against
Someone
Japan.
fought-
Japan. How do you not vote for that guy? The guy had like 9,000
Oh
hits.
my God.
Pearl Harbor survived.
Oh my God.
Oh God. All right, hey, it's history lesson 101. Okay, there we go.
CC, my man CC Sabathia too.
Yeah, I don't know if he should have made it. That's
Billy Wagner
Billy. Was Wagner the left-handed reliever?
for the Astros. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk a little bit baseball later on. But anyways, listen, guys, we're done. We wrapped it up in under 1 hour. Oh, by the way, hold on, real quick. Today, just let you know, Ro's going to be happy out there. Her Chicago Bears have a new head coach, Ben Johnson, and Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator of Lions, getting the Jets job. My question, real quick to you guys, is what does this do to the Lions next year? They lose both their offensive and defensive coordinators. Is it a big deal? Did they just elevate somebody, Al, on the offensive side? And is it just business as usual? Or is this going to be a setback for the Lions next year, Al? What do you think?
Well, when you look at Philadelphia Eagles, when that happened to them a couple of years ago, they had a little setback.
Fell
So
apart,
now
yep.
Detroit, they shot their wad this year trying to get to the Super Bowl, end up getting beat. So they're gonna lose both their coordinators. It's gonna be a challenge, man, because I think there's always some chemistry there, and Bob can attest to it on the defensive side, and for sure on the offensive side, because I think the quarterback down there in Tampa Bay was about to have a fit when he thought his offensive coordinator was going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars job. Because you there's a bond there. You don't want another system. You feel good with that system.
Yep.
So I think it could be a challenge. So we'll see how it plays out. But there are always guys on the staff that get fleet up, and hopefully you don't miss a beat. But it remains to be seen.
Bob, on the defensive side, you get Aaron Glenn going to the Jets. First of all, do you think it's a good hire by the Jets? He played there. I think he was a corner with the Jets as a
cornerback. Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of that will be determined by what kind of offensive staff he can put together. But yeah, I think it is a good hire. I like his. And to Al's point, the coordinators, they create the culture in their meeting room, and that translates over to how the team plays that side of the ball on the field during the games. And he did a great job, with that defense this year because they had a ton of injuries, and he was able to basically plug and play. But I think both of those hires are really outstanding, and it's going to gut the Lions there a little bit. But a lot of it will depend on who they replaced. To Al's point, a lot of times if you hire from within, they're already familiar with the culture and they can continue to build on that. Versus maybe going and getting a name. So it'll be interesting. But, yeah, it definitely creates a challenge when you lose 2 really outstanding assistant coaches like that.
Benny, it was just today, I guess, the Patriots are going to tab Josh McDaniel to go back to New England to be the OC under Mike Vrabel. Do you think...
What's that, his third time back?
Third time back, yeah. And now my question to you is, it's not going to happen overnight, but do you think, based on Vrabel's track record, that within the next 3 to 4 years, the Patriots are a playoff contender? In 3 to 4 years.
Excellent coach. I always liked him.
Okay.
He did a great job at Tennessee. I mean, they were a great, always had a great defensive team. He's got that same mindset as Belichick, I think,
Okay.
He's good. And now McDaniels. He's a good offensive coordinator. He's just not a head coach.
Yeah,
You know, he's failed everywhere where he went as a head coach, but offensively, you know, he's got the quarterback now. You know, and I think they'll do well. I think in a couple of years they should do very well. They draft well.
Well, let's see how Drake.
What draft pick do they have this year?
Number 3.
No, aren't the Giants 3?
Oh, they're number 4. Fourth pick. If they had lost the game, if the last game,
I know they go and win again. Well, that's like the Giants went and scored 45 points at home.
I know.
What are you scoring 45 points for?
All right, guys. Well, listen. Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, everyone out there, no show next week. The Super Bowl's taking 2 weeks off, so are we. So we'll be back a week from Wednesday. It will have a Super Bowl show. We'll break down the championship games, and we'll have our picks of who's going to win the Super Bowl. I want to first thank my special guest, Bob. You've been awesome. Thanks so much. I know, you're busy. You got a lot of stuff going on, new gigs. So, I just want to thank you so much the last couple of weeks for coming on, sharing your expertise. It's outstanding, and we really, really thank you.
No, thank you. It's always a pleasure and honor to be on here with you guys, and truly enjoyable. So anytime.
Oh, my man. Hey, don't
first
don't
class,
ever say
Bob.
that.
You're first class.
Don't ever
Bob.
say that
Thank
because
you.
you know me. I'll
he'll be calling you like every other week.
I will be. Al, listen.
Put him on the payroll. Put him on the payroll.
Give me a shirt, Les. Come on.
Yeah, give him a shirt.
All right. We got to get Bob a shirt. Tony, I got some extra ones. We'll get Bob a shirt and a hat.
Mine's got to have sleeves though, Les. I can't go sleeveless like you.
Hey, listen, I got better arms than Belichick. Let me just tell you, okay? No, listen, Al, you be safe down in Birmingham. Al, listen, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. You are the man. You are my captain.
Al's in Jackson. He's in Jacksonville, not Birmingham.
No, Bob's in Birmingham.
Yeah, you said Al.
All right. Listen, I get confused a little bit.
I gotta watch what you say.
I know. Well, I need someone to fact check me. Okay. And listen, Benny, you better watch it. I'm going to take this Zamboni. I'm going to drive it to your house.
Yeah. Could you come by and clean the snow off my driveway so I can get out tomorrow?
We got ice everywhere. Thank God I got a 4-wheel drive truck. We'll skate home tonight. But listen, Al, be safe down there. Stay warm down there in Jacksonville.
Good seeing you, gentlemen.
Benny.
Yep.
God knows I'll be seeing you. Good luck in your. Hopefully you get your thing done and you'll be all right. You'll be healthy. I want to thank everybody who hung in there tonight. Great questions, great comments. It was awesome. We had some new people on tonight. That was great. Let's keep it going. We're not going to be here next Wednesday. We'll be here 2 weeks from Wednesday. So everyone, stay safe, stay warm. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the games, and may Patrick Mahomes lose. Take care, everybody.
See y'all.